Ladies and gentlemen, Pooja Bedi for you. And the topic we have is wellness. So to start with, the first question I ask you
Why
is...
wellness? Why Pooja Bedi and wellness? They all saw me with my dress flying in Pehla Nasha.
I remember her in one movie particularly, which was Jo Jeeta Wo Sikandar. And I like, not that I'm very old now, but I was pretty young at that time, so was she. And I still have very fond memories of the movie. I think you were better than the heroine herself.
I don't know which part.
So having said that, it makes me feel very good when I'm sitting next to you and talking to you. So about wellness, I would ask you, what's your perception of wellness? What do you mean? Wellness can be in many terms. It can be, some people think wealth is wellness, some people think health is wellness. So what's your perception of
All right,
wellness?
so just in case you're wondering how Pooja Bedi, how wellness, etc., I'll just give you a little brief about my roots. I'm the 18th direct descendant of Guru Nanak Sahib, so I guess something comes along in your DNA. Thank you. I don't deserve the applause because it just came to me genetically. My grandmother, Frida Bedi, she was a freedom fighter, British lady who met my grandfather at Oxford, fought the freedom struggle together, came to India. Post-independence, under Mahatma Gandhi, she went to jail. India got its freedom. She then took on the Tibetan refugees that had come in and trained them and groomed them along with His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. She became the highest ordained Buddhist nun in the world. There are 3 books written on her incredible life by English authors, Vicky Mackenzie, there's Laura, and then there's Andrew Whitehead. Incredible journeys of my grandmother. My grandfather was a spiritual healer, Baba Bedi. That's my father's father. He healed thousands of people through energy sciences. People who had 2 weeks to live are running his institute 36 years later. People came with all sorts of diseases and they were cured. And much as my questioning, logical mind would say, how is that possible? I mean, it's not logical. The fact is they were being cured and the curiosity grew. And for me, over the last 25 years of my life, I have been actively studying, researching, practicing alternative therapies, alternative sciences, which today are no longer or should no longer be called alternative and complementary because they're both preventive and curative. And along the way of learning about all these sciences, I started this brand called Happy Soul, which is all about the 8 pillars of wellness, which is your emotional, your social, your sexual, your spiritual, your financial, your environmental, and of course, your physical and mental. So there are 8 pillars of wellness. And so for me, wellness is holistic. If you have all the money in the world, but you have mental health issues, it's not okay. If you have all the money in the world, you're mentally fine, but at the end of the day, your sex life is out of balance, and your sexual state is out of balance, you're not happy and you're not healthy. Same goes with your spiritual balance. So goes with the environmental balance. If you're inhaling pollution all the time and you're living in a very toxic environment, so I think for me, the whole concept of holistic wellness was born about 25 years ago, which I've put into, a company, a brand today called Happy Soul, which is taking this journey forward. So for me, it's holistic wellness and the 8 pillars of wellness.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to ask this question just to make you all aware that wellness is not about health only. There are so many other things involved in that same thing. Having said that, India has always been known as a land of spirituality, yoga, other kinds of wellnesses. So those wellnesses are all connected to spirituality more rather than other things which you mentioned, 8 pillars. So can you just elaborate on that?
Well,
because we in tourism, we are very closely associated with all this, and we do get inbound people coming into it.
Well, I'm glad that you see it from a spiritual perspective, because most people I know see wellness as just health. It's just physical health, and that's what really matters to them, without the other 7 pillars coming into the picture. So yes, India, of course, is a land of yoga. India is a land of Ayurveda. But I think India is also a land of IT, right? Information and technology. I think we now need to kind of together make this a land of IT again, but IT should stand for inner transformation, right? I think we need to develop a space. Oh, thank you. I mean, if you think about actually how ancient wisdom could fuse with modern technology, right? I mean, can you imagine something like VR, right? It's so in virtual reality. Can you imagine virtual reality guided temple meditations. Can you imagine AI that is personalizing your wellness trail through the country when you come in, personalizing it for you? Can you imagine a wellness app that once you leave the country as a tourist and go back, the wellness app continues your wellness journey even when you go back home, right? I mean, I think in every possible way, we're looking at a space where I think the most important, and I'm glad that this room is filled with people who are in the travel industry, because together we can actually make this possible. Branding is so important, right? The whole concept of creating a space where, you know, there was this festival in the 60s in America called Woodstock. Yeah, it was iconic. Now imagine if you could have a wellness Woodstock sort of thing for India, where you have global healers, you have global masters, you've got energy scientists, you've got therapists, you've got yoga gurus, you've got life coaches, you've got all of that, naturopathy, Ayurveda, homeopathy, everything happening at this incredible 3-4 day festival in India. And can you imagine the kind of PR? Can you imagine the kind of cultural push that India would get? And we are positioned so well and so ripe for it. It's a shame and a pity that we haven't taken this more seriously, because I think in 2017, you guys would know the data, in 2017, India was positioned at number 7 in wellness tourism. Right, and there were about 56 million tourists that came in 2017. We made about $16.3 billion of that. But we were positioned at number 7 in 2017. Look at what we have. Look at our incredible heritage. Why on earth are we at number 7? We could be global leaders in the same. There's absolutely no reason, with the kind of expansive offerings that we have in India, for India to be any less than first place.
So being like wellness being in your DNA, as you rightly said, you know, you started this Happy Soul.
Yes.
And at Happy Soul, what is the programs you have? What is the minimum? Because these days, I don't think so anybody will have time, especially we Indians, nobody will have time. They can go over a weekend and go in for a wellness trip. But ideally, what you suggest is like wellness, is it a long-term plan, or is it a plan for life, or is it a plan which can be done in, what is the minimum time, or what is the maximum time allowed there?
Well, I think wellness is no longer a buzzword. It had become a buzzword. A few years ago, everyone was talking wellness, 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 wellness. I think today wellness is a way of life, and it's something that is undeniable. Happy Soul, which is my platform, is there to introduce all forms of wellness in India. It's like an aggregator platform. You know how you have Amazon? Amazon has all these products on it, and they sell just products. I wanted my Happy Soul platform to basically be a platform where you have not just wellness products, but wellness services, wellness retreats, wellness travels places, spirituality, where you have recipes. Where's the closest vegan cafe to me? Where is, which is the best wellness app that I can turn to find out about my doshas or Ayurveda or, calorie counting, or to get me my nutritional diet plan? What are the best options for me in this huge maze of wellness? How do I navigate this maze? Because it's huge. I mean, you're talking about wellness today being a $5.6 trillion economy, right? And and growing. And in fact, wellness tourism is growing faster than medical tourism today. So you're looking at a really incredible market share. I think 28% CAGR is the growth rate. It's really huge. Wellness is out of control, and it should be, because it's only bringing good things into our lives. And then you have, spaces where you have people who are so committed to wellness, and yet people who are so curious but don't know what to do. People are suffering. I mean, you look around you, there's digital detox taking place because people are burnt out. You have mental health issues that are on the rise. You've got, on every level, humanity is affected. So what are we doing about it? They want to do something. They want to get better. They don't know how to get better. Right? So Happy Soul as a platform was created basically to say, let's help people navigate this maze. Right? So I'll give you an example, a very funny example. Somebody asked Sadhguru, when we have God, why do we need gurus? And I think Barkha Dutt had asked him that. And Sadhguru had said, Barkha, do you drive a car? And she said, yes. He said, well, suppose you're out at some really remote location and you're completely lost in your car. And you turn on the GPS. And the GPS says, go for 2 kilometers, turn right, and, turn left, and go another 10 kilometers and turn whatever. And he says, you listen, you follow that voice. You don't know who's on the other end, you don't know what, you just trust it because it's navigating you in unfamiliar terrain, right? It's the same way gurus are there to guide you when you enter spirituality. Gurus are there to guide you in unfamiliar terrain. So she said, so are you saying gurus are the new GPS? And he said, yes, guru positioning system. So I think in the same way, Happy Soul is being created as a platform to help people navigate the maze of wellness in India, and where they can find quality, services of different price brackets, and where they can go for really good quality healing wellness experiences in our beautiful country.
So you still haven't answered my question. My question was, what do you think is the time frame for a wellness?
It really depends on what you want. Say, for example, I wake up in the morning at 6:30 in the morning. I go for a walk. I then go play pickleball with my kids. I come back. I go to work. Right? I take time out to eat healthy food, obviously. But along the way, if I want to eat something which is not traditionally healthy, I call it mental wellness, and I'll eat the piece of cake because it makes me mentally happy, right? So again, it depends on the form of wellness that you're looking to achieve for the day. Everything is not about physical wellness. It depends what's going wrong. You don't say, which tablet should I have and for how many days? It depends on what condition you have, right? So when you go to a doctor, you don't say, what can I have, 1 pill or 2 pills or 5 pills? The doctor will tell you, have so many pills till this condition is balanced, right? Until you're wholesome again. And you may have a new condition day after, you may have another condition 10 days later, or a month later, 10 years later. So the idea is basically to make wellness a way of life, to make something where you wake up in the morning and you're happy, because everything at the end of the day comes down to your mental state. If you're happy, nothing can go wrong with your physical body. When you're happy, and this is the law of physics, and I teach this in all my workshops that I do, you vibrate with a certain energy, you vibrate with a certain frequency, and depending on the frequency, the laws of manifestation, that's what you attract back, right? So everything in your life starts flowing, whether it's your personal life, your professional life, your sexual life, your social life, your emotional life, your body. Everything flows when you're happy, and a state of happiness is key to amplifying, magnifying, and attracting whatever it is that you want in your life, and that's why it's called Happy Soul.
So Happy Soul's tagline would be GPS for wellness, basically.
I have to think of a good tagline for that.
So having said that, how do you think India can place itself in the forefront, like from a 7th position coming up to top 3? Do you have any plans for that, or can you?
Well, there are so many ways. I mean, firstly, we need a lot of government participation for sure. The thing is, in a ministry, you will then put a ministry together to handle things. But you may not have people who know wellness, or know the needs of the wellness market locally, or the needs of the wellness market internationally, or what the local market is able to give you that you can then market to the rest of the world. You need people who know wellness to guide the journey of wellness. So I think we need a lot of private participation in government to enable these things in the first place. Branding, as I said, is very important. I think that's extremely crucial. I think sustainability as a key word is incredibly important, because every wellness seeker is also of an ecological bent of mind, every wellness seeker. And if a person who's coming seeking wellness feels that they can balance personal wellness along with planetary wellness, that's again great. You then have spectrum. Who are you catering to? So you can have something as posh as Ananda and Vana and all of that, and yet you can have something catering to backpackers. The question is credibility. Where is the credibility? India's positioned differently from the rest of the world. So people want, like say a person comes in from Japan or Germany. Now there's a reason, obviously I'm giving these two countries as an example, Japan and Germany, because they're sticklers for cleanliness, hygiene, systems, etc. So if you can give a credibility to India and experiences in India, maybe a stamp, like a authentication of wellness stamp that's given, so that people abroad know, okay, I can visit this place, they have all the global standards in place, be it hygiene, be it safety, be it quality of service, etc. And I'm guaranteed that because of this quality stamp. And that, and of course, have a platform that caters to it. So, for example, you have, say, a Happy Soul platform that has everything listed on it, or a government platform that has absolutely everything neatly laid out, easy layout, easy navigation, access to the entire wellness trail, the wellness journey. I think that would be great. I mean, if you infuse tourism, for example, and infuse it with hospitality, what happens? A person comes to India, and they come here and go to a retreat, right? How about the fact that it's not retreat-based or destination-based? How about India, if you're achieving and looking to achieve being this global epicenter for wellness, that there are touch points at every point of the way. So whether it's at the airport itself, whether it's at the hotels that you're staying in on the way to wherever you're going, if you could have Ayurveda, naturopathy, if you could have meditation pods, if you could have interesting experiences as you go along, reaching your destination. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, apps that you then, have which take that journey back with you. So how do you enable somebody to stay consistently in the loop, right? And not just make it a one-time sort of experience for a wellness tourist, and how to attract that global wellness market. And look at corporates world over. Imagine if you had programs in India designed for burnout. Come here. Mindful leadership, come here. If you had a tie-up, say for example, with insurance providers, right? And you say cover Ayurveda and cover these therapies under insurances. Amazing. Post-operative care, right? People come here for medical tourism. What about post-operative care? That's most important, so you don't lapse back into it. So things like that are things we need to consider and explore and work together with government, with sectors like the hospitality industry, with even things like culture. For example, how do you infuse culture, which is so important? Can you imagine a potent combination of culture and wellness? Imagine having dance that is like guided meditation. Imagine having cooking classes based on sattvic and panchkarma food for people when they come in. So, all these kind of experiential things, which we can offer people at every level. When you go to places like Thailand, Bali, etc., you see everywhere, at every touch point, there's wellness. There's something to do with a massage, a therapy, or service, and all of that. Civic sense. As I said, when we're talking about ecology, when you're talking about sustainability, how many blue beaches do we really have? How many beaches do we have that are classified as world-class beaches? And look at our coastline. Look, where's the infrastructure? There's garbage everywhere. This morning I put something on Instagram saying, I have a penthouse on Versova Beach, and I expect a sky full of stars, but I have a beach full of trash, full of trash. Like end-to-end there's trash. So how can you expect tourists to come from their incredible countries to a country like India and see trash everywhere, see people spitting, people littering? Civic sense. How do we instill civic sense into our country? That to tell them, don't spit, don't pee on the roads, don't throw trash. Treat your guests like they're welcome. Don't treat them like outsiders. These are very crucial and fundamental to welcoming tourists. It's about hospitality.
I agree there because, as you rightly said first, happiness is something. So happiness, looking at trash, one doesn't feel happy. Having said that, but tell me, as far as the consistency and the quality of concerns, and you mentioned Vana, you mentioned Anantara for that matter, but at the same time you were mentioning backpacks also.
Yes.
So these are different segments altogether. And yes, travel agents are here, so are the tour operators who can package it together, making it more interesting for people who are coming in. So how do you rate these agencies?
Because see, for example, wellness, five-star hotels. Five-star hotels have a rating.
No, wellness cannot be different for Amritara and Vana or for backpackers. Wellness has to be in the same.
Absolutely. Yeah. So say, for example, if you know that a place is safe, a place is hygienic, a place is well reviewed, a place has met certain standards of what it is that they're offering, right? It gets that stamp, which I was mentioning earlier, like an authentication of Indian wellness stamp, right? And any place that has that stamp goes onto this particular portal. The portal then has the names and of all these places you can visit which have been checked, verified. Regular audits for that matters. Not that ek time ho gaya to it's got the stamp. Regular audits to make sure they're maintaining their consistency, maintaining those standards. If there are complaints about the place, to take it seriously. An entire infrastructure. You have an entire infrastructure there to take tax from people, right? You have a whole IT department in place. Now, if you want India to be a wellness global hub, you need to have a whole wellness department in place that actually goes out there and does the doing. This is very important. And the kind of revenue we stand to gain from being a wellness epicenter is unparalleled. And we should really be focusing on that, creating departments and divisions within the government to do that, within the tourism ministry especially, to enable that. I think it's very, very important. But you need to have that stamp of credibility, and it needs to start somewhere. You can't say let's do everything at one time. Start somewhere, but start that process.
You know what I gather from you is there are three aspects to it. One is the health aspect, which is prime important. Second becomes the hygiene aspect, which is again important. So tourism unfortunately is not.
Safety is very important.
Yeah, safety is important. So, but tourism somehow is not associated with both health ministries and the hygiene, for that matter. So, we are all here from the tourism and travel industry. So, we want to understand when it comes to tourism, how can we get into wellness packages also, taking help from your organization or other organizations who are there.
Absolutely.
And
No, I think
how does one access information from your organization for such, if you can enlighten us?
Okay, so my organization is a pretty young one, and actually I'm going to go to the government now and ask them to give me money for all of this, because I think it's very important that we have people who know wellness, who understand wellness, who live and breathe wellness, and want to see India becoming the wellness epicenter, to actually be aided in creating platforms. You know, I'll help them create a platform if they want me to create a platform for them. I'll help them create a platform, but it should be created, because look at the wealth we have of every form of wellness in our country. Incredible, right? Why are we not tapping into it? So, say for example, you want to create a wellness package. You already know, being tour operators, what are the hot selling places? Like say for example, if I go to Kalari Kovilakom in Kerala, now I go to all these places, I keep checking out everything. Kalari Kovilakom in Kerala, CGH Earth Group, 99% of their clientele are international, right? Every time I've been there, I see one Indian. Right? And they come in, why? Because it's a certain price bracket. It has a certain incredible level of quality, hygiene, privacy. Right? There's a power couple from Ukraine, there's a gems dealer from Thailand, you've got a CEO of a sculpture park from Norway, you have an architect from Switzerland, you've got these really high-powered people coming there for that experience, and it's always the case. I went to Prakriti Shakti, again CGH Earth's group, again, I was the only Indian there. You know, it's filled with just Ukrainians, Russians, and all those people, because their travel operators there have got a sense of what their clientele needs and likes. Now, each travel operator has a different demographic that they deal with generally. So within your demographic, what are the places within the demographic that you cater to, right? And how can you attract the international clientele of that demographic, be it Indians abroad, be it foreigners that come in from abroad, be it Indians within India? Right? How are we going to get those people to understand what suits them the best, right? For that, I'm happy to help. You can come to me, you can talk to me, we can discuss things, I can help put formulas in place, we can help, you know, put things together, because this needs to grow and you've got to start somewhere, right?
So, one point which I know also, and which everybody will agree here, is why are these wellness packages above average as far as the costing is concerned?
Why are they above
average? Why are they above average? Because I've seen most of them are expensive in nature.
Well, there's a lovely saying. It says, if you think wellness is expensive, try illness. So, you know, I mean, so it depends again on the quality of a package you're looking at. For example, I could go to a Kalari Kovilakom that costs me about 3 lakhs a week, staying at Kalari Kovilakom, and yet you could go to a Kerala, which is exactly in the same place, same state, and offers you exactly the same kind of treatments, but it's not as luxurious. In the sense, the treatments are great. They're all the same. They've still got the power of Ayurveda, and the herbs don't change because you're in place A or place B, right? The quality of doctors are phenomenal, but I'm paying for staying at the Kolingode Palace. I'm paying for that beautiful room. I'm paying for the privacy. I'm paying for that quality of food that comes to me, that's cooked in an open kitchen, that's cooked in a certain Sattvic style and served to me a certain way. I pay for that, right? So the service is available at a much cheaper price. So a backpacker could easily go to Kerala and the other places and afford those. You know, it really depends on what you look for and at what price point you look for, because it's all there. It all exists.
So even the wellness packages have star ratings, starting from 2, 3, 4, 5, or 7, or even 10 stars for that matter.
Well, I mean, there should be. We should create a rating system. And I think reviews speak larger than ratings. Ratings can be like as a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star facility, like say we have at 5-star hotels, 4-star hotels, etc. But then you have a whole range of Airbnbs, for example, right, to stay at. You have a whole bunch of homestays. You have a whole bunch of other kinds of AMA stays, AMA properties. You know, you've got different types of experiences. Ginger hotels, you know, would give you one a corporate hotel, one is something hotel. So, you know, at the end of the day, wellness needs to be defined in terms of experience and in terms of offering. They're two separate things. So experientially, it could be a 5-star, but offerings differ from place to place.
So if I remember correctly, traditionally, hotels never used to have spas. They used to have health, but never used to have spas. Now they have added spas. Of late, every hotel you go to, they have a spa treatment, like you get your massages and all done. But having said that, do you think they need to enhance that spa treatment to a little bit more to give some values
I think it's always about demand and supply.
Yeah.
Now pickleball has become very big, so everyone's now opening pickleball courts everywhere, right? Everywhere. You have homestays now in Lonavala that are offering their villas along with pickleball courts and paddle courts. Taj has come up with numerous pickleball courts, even in Goa. They've got a pickleball court going on here in Bombay. So it really depends on demand and supply. If you can cater to the needs of the growing wellness seekers, you're going to do very well, because wellness is becoming huge. I mean, today eating food, everyone when we were growing up, it was about going on a diet. That was it. Go on a diet, which means zip your mouth, eat certain types of things, and go to Jindal and have that water and do this and do that. It was all about controlling your food, right? Today, it's about a way of life. Like, I almost feel the younger generation has got something called orthorexia, which is a clean eating disorder. And I think 95% of my daughters' and sons' friends don't drink alcohol. At their age, we were all drinking alcohol, that they were mid-20s, late 20s, and they don't drink alcohol. They don't want to drink alcohol. They want to eat clean. They feel guilty eating pizza. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, you should be so overjoyed that you're eating a piece of pizza. They call them cheat meals.
Don't overextend it. They have a party in the evening. They'll start drinking all of them.
Seriously. They call it a cheat meal. I'm like, please call it a treat meal. You've eaten so well for 7 days. You're rewarding yourself with that yummy pizza or slice of cake. Call it a treat meal. Your body will receive it better. But they see everything with guilt because they're obsessed about wellness. They're obsessed about health. They're obsessed about that. Now, if that's going to be your new generation, you need to start catering to it from today. You need to start putting your infrastructure into place from today, your marketing, your branding, your pain points, your plus points. What is it that you're looking at from the coming generation point of view? And that is extremely important. And you have to see the trend. You have to see the data. You have to see the kind of economic benefits that the country is gaining internally, externally. What's happening? When you have data on that, all the travel operators will automatically start selling differently. And when you start selling differently, you start creating more awareness. The more awareness you create, the greater the market size grows, right? So it's a continuous effect.
I've been told we are short on time, but then I want you to extend on IT, because IT is something which is you mentioned it very well.
Transformation or information technology?
No, transformation. A little bit more on that, please.
All right. Well, let me just. Let's just keep it to the tourism part now, yeah? So let's just say, when people come to India, okay, say for example, you look at Bali, okay? Bali is so filled with amazing things to do. It has surfing, it has this, it has yoga retreats, it's got Pilates studios, it's got yoga, it's got wildlife, it's got nature, it's got everything. But if Bali is like a postcard, India is an encyclopedia, right? If you see Thailand offers you wellness as an experience. Right? India offers you wellness as a way of life, right? You don't come to India, you should not come to India for a retreat. The mental positioning should be you come to India for a rebirth. It's not about recreation, it's about recreation, right? This is what the whole thrust should be for us in India. I think, when people go abroad, or say when people come to India for that matter, you go to Thailand, you get a service. You don't come to India and get a service. The moment you step into a culture that says the divine in me honors the divine in you, right? It's very different from saying, come, relax, and leave, right? Our experiences aren't transactional. They're meant to be transformational.
Experiential, more experiential.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's what we need to focus on as a country, because we have the ability to do that. We have the infrastructure in place in so many ways to do that. We have a ministry in place. We've got, we've got incredible travel operators. We look at the hospitality sector. Look at the kind of hotels, the kind of offerings we have out there. There's no reason to be lagging behind at number 7.
Thank you, Pooja. I've got the second note from there, so I have to shut it down.
Thank you, everybody.
But guys, you don't need to worry. These 2 days are your cheat days. You can cheat today. You can have your party on. You can have a drink on you. So can we have a round of applause for Pooja for enlightening us on the wellness? And thank you so very much, Pooja.
Welcome. I shared just a little more than my red dress flying, right?